Two friends who are never going to speak again, and it's all because of an Airbnb dispute. Ooh.
They are at each other's necks, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm curious as to how y'all deal with Airbnb situations when you go with a group, because I've never had to deal with something like this, but I didn't know it could get this serious. So these two women are, like best friends. They've been best friends for a very long time. They have been in each other's lives for years. I'm friends with both of them, but I'm a lot closer to one. And so I have to tell the story from the perspective of the one I'm a little closer to, but I'm not trying to be biased. So she is upset because she feels like she's been a friend to this woman, that this woman has not been back to her. And I do understand that. I find myself in those situations where you just feel like you're all in with somebody and they just don't give the same energy, and you find yourself questioning the friendship. And I don't know how it is with women. I feel like with men, most of the time, when something comes in between a serious friendship, it is usually a woman or money. It seems to always be one of the two. And in this instance, it's money. So in her mind, because of the fact that they're friends and because of the fact that they're close, and she's always been there for her. Like, that's a part of the thing that's bothering her the most, is when her friend got married, she showed up at the wedding. She did all that she had to do in order to be the maid of honor. She spent over $1,000. Like, this is a part of why she's so upset, because she's always there, no matter what. So in this situation, there's a group of them. I believe there are 4 women who all chipped in to get this Airbnb. Now, it all started with a little bit of a conflict between which Airbnb they should get. Because the friend that I'm closest to is doing very well for herself at this point in life, and she can afford to find the things in life that she may want. The other friend is not doing bad, but she's not doing as well, and I don't think she puts as much value into luxurious things, if you will. So when they were all trying to put this trip together, there was already a conflict out the gate.
Yeah, I'm bracing myself.
You see where it's going.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, how it all started.
But if you're going to do, if I may interject, if you're going to do an Airbnb trip with multiple people, you always have to default to the lower denomination. Like, you have to go in with those expectations. If you're going to do a group trip, you're going to meet your friends where they are. And when it comes to, pitching in for Airbnb, that means if you're going to meet them, you're going to meet them on the lower level, not the upper level, because that's not fair to the lower level friends.
Or if people want a fancier Airbnb, then just compensate for the 1 or 2 people who don't want to pay the bigger price.
So that's where it gets interesting, right? Because I think that's where, like, the other 2 women were kind of on the fence of, I could do either one. I really don't care. I'm good either way. But my friend was like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip where the 4 of us are going to be together. Tomorrow is not promised. When is the next time we're going to be in this place that we're going? If it cost us all a couple $100 more to get the really nice Airbnb with all of the extra things, why not?
That sounds like it came from a person who's got money.
True indeed. True indeed. Now, in the other person's defense, she didn't want to do it, but she did agree to it. She agreed to it. I think the final cost was somewhere around $700 or $800 a person, something like that. And that's what they were supposed to all pay. So they're all in.
Which is not, wait, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. They're locked in. They're all going to the Airbnb. They're all going to do their thing. Now, I guess the way the Airbnb is set up, once you pay, you don't get all your money back. Like, you had to put in a certain amount of money for the deposit, and that's that. Whether you go or not, doesn't matter. If you cancel, you still have to pay the money. So now I think they're a week and a half out of the trip.
Oh yeah, you get there's no refunds when you're that close to the trip.
Too close.
Yeah.
So that's what she's telling me. But now her friend is saying that she came across some kind of emergency. So she asked her what the emergency is, and the friend was like, "You're being a little intrusive. Why do I have to tell you what my emergency situation is? It's an emergency. I'm not going to be able to go on the trip." So my friend is like, "All right, cool, no problem, but you still have to cover your portion of the Airbnb, whether you go or not." And then that's when the other girl has the conflict of, why would I do that? I'm not going to be there. No, I don't. I didn't sign up for that. But then the friend that's closer to me is like, yes, you did. Because when I signed up for the Airbnb and you agreed to have this amount of money, that was you signing up for it. So that's the conflict. And they are not seeing each other's side of it at all. And they're not backing down. And I got a feeling that this beef is going to get worse.
Okay, so this is where, Abby, the facts are the facts. They both have the same facts. They just have a different take on the situation.
They both just have very different feelings. So if we're going to take my advice from a segment we just did an hour ago, I wish I could take it back, then I think both need to come to an understanding, where they can both recognize how the situation is making the other person feel. Like one person feels like their financial security is at risk. Like, oh, I can't actually afford this. And the other person says, well, we were all counting on you and we all had this expectation for the trip to go a certain way. And that makes us feel a certain way. So I feel like without them acknowledging the feelings, this is just going to get worse, because no matter what happens, like if she ends up dropping out of the trip and not coming, they're still going to be on the trip the whole time being like, I can't believe like Sarah didn't come and she didn't want to pitch in and now we all had to pay more. So that's just going to build even more resentment. So
the whole trip they're going to be talking about her.
Oh my God, I would feel so bad. If I was the person who dropped out, I would have so much anxiety that entire weekend knowing that they were probably just talking smack about me the whole time, that I wasn't there. So my only advice is try and acknowledge the other person's feelings, because at the end of the day, like the facts aren't going to change.
So I hate to do this, but I'm going to, I don't know if it's about taking sides, but your friend that's losing money, she's going to have to just suck it up. So the reason being, if it wasn't established out the gate that if you bail, you still have to pay, then she's got to eat it. And she also, this has been a hard lesson for me, is managing your expectations. There have been friends in my life that I feel like I really showed up for and they weren't showing up for me. And it's one of those things where like, if I want this friend to stay in my life, then I'm going to have to meet her where she is. I can't keep putting all this energy and effort in and getting myself, she's not upsetting me. I'm upsetting myself because I have these expectations set for her that she is not meeting. She has shown me time and time again that that's not the kind of person she is. That's not the kind of friend she is. So either I keep her as a friend and I acknowledge who she is, what she is, and meet her where she is, and then adjust my expectations and also adjust how much I contribute to the friendship so I don't feel some sort of way about it, that I'm not, what's the word where you use, I'm not resentful of everything that I do, right? So you have to take that into account. And then in this instance, is the other friend in the wrong for bailing the way she is? Yes, especially when she's not disclosing what the
problem is. Emergency.
What the emergency is. Thank you. So I would just have to, I think your friend, I think this is a valuable life lesson that she has to eat it. And in the future, if she plans anything with this other friend, those expectations need to be set out the gate. I mean, if this is a deal breaker for her, then this is a deal breaker for her. But if she wants to maintain the friendship, then she's just going to have to eat it and meet somewhere. You're not even meeting in the middle. Like she's taking this one on the chin for sure. But it's just it's a lesson for her friendship.
I think that's a wise take, a mature take, and she ain't gonna do that.
The Bert Show.